Greetings, dear friends. Welcome back, my dear. We are truly grateful for your presence with us today. A delightful new tale awaits your discovery. Shall we commence our journey? Allow me to introduce myself. I am James, and I have a singular truth to share. I am coming to understand that certain betrayals may remain forever unpardonable. Not all matters can be resolved through mere conversation or gently concealed by the passage of time. As my daughter stood before me, passionately defending her mother's betrayal, I reached into my pocket and handed her a neatly folded piece of paper. With a gentle yet firm tone, I said, "You have 30 minutes. Gather your belongings, my dear. You are departing from this abode. Every action carries its own set of consequences. Allow me to transport you to the moment when our journey began 19 years ago. In our second year of college, I encountered Sarah, and I found myself captivated by her beauty. I must confess, she enchanted me. Though we were pursuing different fields of study, our paths intertwined in a most delightful way. Our paths crossed frequently in the library and the cafeteria. Initially, our exchanges were mere small talk, yet those brief encounters blossomed into deeper conversations that ultimately led to dating. From that very first moment, I found myself truly captivated by her. In those moments spent together, everything felt effortlessly buoyant, as if the weight of the world had vanished, leaving only us, unburdened by the concerns of life. There are no genuine obligations to weigh upon one's heart, just a promise of a future we could create together. I recall feeling incredibly fortunate to have someone like Sarah by my side. Then came the moment of graduation. We had just stepped out of the school's embrace, navigating the uncertain paths ahead, when Sarah revealed her pregnancy. The news struck me deeply, not from a lack of desire for a child, but from the weight of unpreparedness. I found myself without a stable job, without savings, armed only with a diploma and a heart full of hope. Yet, I reassured myself that true manhood lies in rising to the occasion, even amidst fear. After much heartfelt discussion, we chose to unite in marriage, embracing the beauty of a serene and intimate ceremony surrounded by our dearest friends and family. A few months later, our joy was further enriched with the arrival of Lily. No longer was I merely a man navigating the complexities of life. I had embraced the role of a father. Sarah and I may not have possessed much, but we had one another and our precious little girl, who relied on us for everything. Thus began our family. A young couple, fresh from college, striving to create a beautiful existence in a world that offered few easy paths. To be truthful, a sense of fear enveloped me. While many of my friends were either still discovering their paths or gliding along on the support of their parents, I found myself rising at the break of dawn, at 5 a.m. pursuing any opportunity that would grace our table with sustenance, anything at all. In the depths of my resolve, I discovered my strength. I persevered, driven by an unwavering determination to see it through. Even if it meant bearing the entire burden alone, I held steadfast to the belief that creating a home, no matter how gradual or arduous the journey, was a pursuit worthy of my heart as my daughter blossomed. The bond we shared deepened with each passing moment. My desire for her was to have more than I ever experienced, even if it meant sacrificing my own needs. I never perceived my role as her father as a burden, not once. It became the most grounding and meaningful aspect of my existence. By the time Lily was ready to embark on her school journey, my beloved wife Sarah felt it was time to re-enter the workforce. I wholeheartedly embraced her decision. For years, we navigated our lives on my income alone, and though we persevered, it was not without its challenges. Thus, her contribution of a second paycheck brought a sense of relief and lightness to our shared journey. Each day unfolded with a gentle rhythm. I would rise early, assisting Lily in her preparations for school before embarking on my own journey to work. Sarah would come to collect her later in the day, and we would all share a delightful dinner together. Yet how swiftly time seems to pass. Soon, Lily was no longer my little girl chasing butterflies in the yard. She was now discussing college applications and majors, and everything seemed to blur together. Somewhere along the way, our baby girl had blossomed into a young woman, and with Lily growing up, time felt both fleeting and beautiful. I began to perceive something different. There was a feeling I found difficult to articulate at the beginning. After nearly 2 decades of sharing life with someone, the most subtle transformations become beautifully apparent. It may be the delicate nuances in tone or the unspoken words that linger in the air. It all began with Sarah. Life had been a whirlwind of swift moments. Lily was on the brink of celebrating her 19th birthday next month, and as she approached the conclusion of high school, the anticipation of college was weaving itself into the fabric of our conversations. I imagined that perhaps Sarah was simply feeling the weight of it all, much like the rest of us. Then came that singular moment when I proposed a brief family getaway. Just the 3 of us. I believed it would serve as a lovely opportunity to rekindle our bond before Lily embarked on her journey to college. One enchanting evening, as Sarah reclined gracefully on the couch, I broached the subject, gently gliding her fingers across her phone, as was her daily ritual. She scarcely cast a glance in my direction, merely whispered as I gazed at her, eyes fixed upon the screen. That moment struck me with the force of a tender blow to the heart. It is difficult to articulate unless one has experienced it, yet there exists a profound sorrow in being so casually dismissed. I recall pondering how I had never encountered a soul who yearned for such disregard. From that moment on, I found myself observing Sarah more intently. She always seemed to have her phone in hand, her screen angled just beyond my view. At dinner, her presence was tangible, yet her heart seemed to wander far beyond the confines of the moment. I reminded myself to refrain from hasty judgments, yet the sensation lingered. I found myself pondering who it is that captivates her attention with messages, even in our cherished moments as a family. I endeavored to refrain from intruding, yet trust becomes increasingly elusive when it seems you are the sole keeper of its flame. Life, in its mysterious ways, occasionally bestows upon us revelations we never sought. One day, Sarah found herself grappling with the challenge of accessing one of her old email accounts and reached out to me for assistance in resetting the password. There is nothing out of the ordinary. Years ago, she had crafted that email, designating my address as the recovery contact. Thus, when the reset link graced my inbox, I clicked it, entered a new password, and shared the details with her. Yet, just as I was about to close the page, something held me back. A certain hesitation stirred within me. I opened her message. The majority of the messages were rather unremarkable as I engaged in conversations with a few acquaintances we both knew. I found myself on the brink of departure, ready to feign that nothing had transpired. Upon encountering a message adorned with an unfamiliar name, I was met with an unexpected revelation. As I opened it, I discovered a conversation, an ongoing exchange between Sarah and a gentleman. I had never heard her speak of it before, and as I perused the exchange, a heaviness settled in my heart. They were not conversing as if they were long-lost friends rekindling their bond. There existed a gentle warmth. There existed a sense of familiarity. There was a depth of feeling. As I continued to read, seeking to weave the threads into a coherent tapestry, I found that the further I delved, the more elusive clarity became. Among the old photographs, there were images of her and him, some tender selfies that I don't recall her ever sharing with me. It was the timeline that truly unsettled me. These whispers had lingered for an eternity, soft exchanges shared beneath the veil of night. His words flowed as if it were destined to be just the 2 of us, while her responses lingered, not quite dismissing him. Then, I stumbled upon a revelation that sent tremors through my hands. He spoke of the moment they reconnected during a brief pause in her relationship with me, just before our vows were exchanged. It was the very same moment. She confided in me that she had gone to stay with her cousin to find some clarity. At the time, I had no reason to doubt her. Why would I? Upon her return, she expressed a desire to mend our relationship, and not long after, she revealed the news of her pregnancy. In a whirlwind of emotion, we united in marriage, believing it to be the right choice, and now, 19 years later, we reflect on that moment. I find myself pondering whether that entire timeline was but a fabrication. I refrained from capturing every moment, as it felt overwhelming, and truthfully, I was struggling to maintain my composure. Yet, I succeeded in preserving a few fragments of our exchange, just in case they would prove essential later. I closed the app and succumbed to silence for what felt like an eternity. My heart ached with confusion, and for the first time, a thought emerged that I never envisioned would haunt me. Was Lily truly my daughter? The mere contemplation of that question left me feeling unwell, halting my resolve to confront Sarah immediately. I craved certainty. I sought the truth. In the days that followed, I orchestrated my plans with a delicate touch, ensuring that no one was aware of my quiet endeavors. I gathered the samples I required, sending them off for testing, and awaited the answer that held the power to either grant me solace or shatter the life I believed I had crafted. The week it took for the DNA test results to arrive felt like an eternity, stretching out into the longest span of time I had ever known. As the envelope arrived at last, I carried it directly to my room, where I perched on the edge of my bed, anticipation swirling within me before I dared to unveil its contents. She was never truly mine. In terms of biology, Lily was not my daughter. There exists no guide to navigate the heartache of discovering that you have been deceived for almost 20 years. For a considerable time, I remained there, enveloped in a haze of numbness, until an undeniable shift within me occurred. I resolved not to linger in this state, feigning that all was well. With a heart full of anticipation, I chose a moment when Lily was away to face Sarah. With a desire for Sarah to absorb my words free from distractions, I gracefully entered the living room and posed a single, poignant question. "For how long have you been in touch with X?" With her arms gracefully crossed, she inquired, "What are you speaking of?" My frustration swelled, and I implored her not to engage with me. Her tone carried a hint of defensiveness as she realized I was not merely playing a game of pretense. "It is not as you may perceive. I have merely maintained our connection. I have not pursued anything further with him." I gazed at her, hoping to convey that maintaining a connection with someone for whom you still harbor feelings does not equate to betrayal. I inquired, striving to keep my tone steady, yet the truth lingered between us. "You deceived me. This family was constructed upon a foundation of deception. You never revealed to me that there was a possibility Lily was never truly mine." She deftly deflected the question with a graceful retort. "What prompted you to go through my phone in the first place, I wonder?" That was the moment of enchantment. It dawned on me that she felt no remorse. She twisted the narrative, casting me as the villain, as though I had no claim to uncover the truths of my own existence. At that very moment, Lily entered the house, her backpack gracefully draped over one shoulder, earbuds nestled in place, and she paused, capturing the essence of the scene. She beheld us. She cast her gaze from her mother to me. "Are you feeling a bit lost in the current situation?" she inquired, stepping closer and gently removing one of her earbuds. Before Sarah could interject and weave her own narrative, I raised my hand gently and revealed that I had discovered your mother had been in communication with her former love from the past. A person I was unaware. She continued to converse with Lily's voice instinctively took on a slightly defensive tone. "Indeed, conversing with a former partner does not imply any wrongdoing on her part. Why do you present it as if it were a grand betrayal?" I chose not to pursue the matter any further. I gently reached into my pocket and retrieved the delicately folded DNA results. I offered it to her with a tender touch and softly urged, "Please, read it." With a hint of bewilderment, she delicately unfolded the paper, her eyes gracefully tracing the lines before her. Then she read it once more, her lips moving gently as if to decipher its meaning. And then she came to an abrupt halt. With a serene demeanor, I gently informed her, "You have 30 minutes to gather your belongings and depart from this house." Sarah's lips parted as if she longed to speak, yet silence enveloped her. Lily remained motionless, the paper quivering delicately in her grasp. I glanced at Sarah one final time, suppressing the torrent of emotions that surged within me. "I confronted you with the truth. You compelled me to nurture another man's child for 19 long years. Forgiveness eludes me, and with that, I turned away, for there was nothing more to utter. Having shared my truth with you, I find it difficult to express the weight of my experience. Deceived for 19 years while nurturing a child. That was never truly mine. I find it difficult to articulate the profound impact it has on a man. What troubles my thoughts the most is the uncertainty of whether Sarah was ever aware of the truth. Did she gaze upon that sweet little girl and deceive me each day with an unwavering expression? Or did she find a way to assure herself that the truth held no significance? For I was a devoted father. Regardless, my uncertainty lingers, and the very essence of not knowing deepens the ache within my heart. For even if her intentions were not to mislead me, she still made the choice to remain silent. She chose that path on my behalf. She stripped me of the freedom to determine the life I wished to embrace, guided by the essence of truth. The essence of fatherhood transcends mere biology. I understand that I have experienced it firsthand. Yet, when that biological truth intertwines with a betrayal concealed beneath nearly 2 decades of silence, it transforms into a profound wound. It is difficult to convey to those who have not experienced it. Yet amidst all this heartache, I have discovered a few profound lessons. I wish to convey a message to those who may be attuned to my words, particularly the gentlemen who may believe that such things could never touch their lives. I once held that belief as well. Always heed your instincts. If something feels amiss, it likely is. Remember, distance in a relationship does not simply arise without reason. It begins in a certain place, and it frequently begins with a veil of illusion. Be mindful when circumstances shift. Notice when the warmth of communication diminishes or when a person who once met your gaze now retreats behind their screen. That is not the essence of love retreating. That is the truth gently fading into the distance. Never take loyalty for granted, even in the wake of your sacrifices. One might pour their entire essence, time, wealth, and devotion, into another, yet still find that it is not sufficient to inspire unwavering loyalty. Love may not always embody loyalty, and loyalty may not endure forever. It is a challenging reality, yet one that holds great value in its lesson, for the truth invariably unfolds within a certain timeline. It matters not how profoundly you conceal it or how much time has elapsed since its obscurity. In time, it reveals itself. After 19 long years, I finally discovered my heart's desire. When it arrived, it transformed my world in ways I had never imagined. Should you find yourself clinging to something, fearful of unearthing the truth for fear it may shatter your world, understand that this silence harbors a perilous nature. It allows lies to decay all that they touch over time. Yet, the truth, as painful as it may be, establishes a boundary, offering a sanctuary for rebuilding to those who observe. I am truly grateful for your attentive ear to my tale. Though it is not simple to unveil this part of my journey, I hold on to the hope that by doing so, I might spare even a single soul from the torment I have endured, allowing a glimmer of good to emerge from the shadows. If you found this video meaningful, I would be grateful if you could like and share it. As for myself, I remain deeply immersed in the experience. The ongoing divorce battle with Sarah has unfolded like a tumultuous saga, and I must say, it feels akin to a fierce conflict. Yet, I remain steadfast in my resolve.